I hope that everybody had a wonderful Kabbalas Torah and a great week. This week we'll talk about Parshat Naso, even though that is only relevant to those who are in Chutz La'aretz. Of course, here in Eretz Yisrael, this week we will read Parshat Ba'aloscha. In Parshat Naso, there are two big sections juxtaposed next to each other. One is the Parsha, the Sota, of the woman whose husband warns her not to be secluded with a specific man, and that of Nazir, a person who decides to take upon himself an elevated level of awareness, to not drink wine, to stay away from becoming impurified by a dead body or anything similar. And Rashi asked the famous question, why are these two things juxtaposed next to each other? What do they have to do with each other? And Rashi answers that that somebody who sees the sota blow up, which is the punishment for what happens to the sota if she violated what the husband warned her not to do. So that person, that person should take an extra level of guarding themselves and not drink wine. I heard two perspectives to understand what Rashi is telling us. The first is from the Maggid of Kashmir. He says that the Beis HaMikdash was such an incredible place. There are people that are bringing karbanos. The Levim are singing their songs. The Mishnah Pirkei Avos tells us that there were miracles, 10 miracles that happened in the Beis HaMikdash. And this guy, Misha Roa Sota B'Kilkula, while so many incredible things are happening, when people are coming to the holiest place in the world so that they can connect to their creator, and this guy's focusing on the negative aspect of the sota blowing up, Yazer Asma Minayayin. So he should sober up a little bit, and he should realize what life is all about. That we're never going to be in a situation that's all positive, that's all roses. There's always going to be something negative mixed in. But Jewish perspective is, don't get dragged down by the negative. Focus on the positive. Stay away from wine. Sober up. Realize what life is about, and have those priorities. A second idea is relevant to many of us who, even though we are not finishing our year in Israel, but we're definitely finishing our experience of yeshiva. And many times we think, oh, I'm in a great place. I just had a year focused on learning. I had a year focused on my personal growth. I'm good to go. But perhaps the Medrash is telling us that specifically when we have a moment of inspiration, so instead of just relying on that fleeting feeling, we have to concretize it with some kind of resolution. You would think that somebody who sees the sota blow up and realize that maybe one of the reasons why she got herself into trouble was due to wine. So that person, he doesn't need AA. He doesn't need a commitment against wine. That person for sure will suspend and will stay away from any contact with alcohol. But the Medrash is telling us human nature. Human nature is that we get excited, we get inspired, we get fired up, but those feelings dissipate. And in order to hold on to the passion, the fire, the excitement of what we want to pledge to, so we need to concretize it with something specific. Yes, that guy who saw something so inspirational or so sobering, let's say, so that person should resolve to do something to make sure that in the day in and day out he remembers, oh, this is significant. I should make sure that I'm on guard and I don't fall to the same temptations that the sota might have done. The Gemara has an idea that yesh mi shekona olamo b'sha achas. There are some people that could acquire their entire life, meaning their life changes, their definition, their priorities change based on one moment. But it's not because that's it, one moment, and that's all you have to worry about, but rather they build on that moment. They resolve based on that moment. They come to conclusions, achievements, and growth. That moment's a springboard. That moment is not an end. So while we might have had an unbelievable experience, as so many of us had in the year in yeshiva, but that should not be the end. The question is, what resolution are we going to make? What are we going to resolve to continue our learning, to continue improving our midos, to continue our seeking of how I can have better kavanah during davening? What can I resolve and take upon myself to concretize the great moments that happened here in Eretz Yisrael? You're at some of the Hashem should help us realize how much we did accomplish, but also help us realize that that's the lower rung on the ladder, and we should be able to use that, have the vision and the strength to use that to continue to grow.